Chiddush of the Nitzchis of the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi, right? The Chiddush of the eternity of the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi over the first Beis Hamikdash, because the first Beis Hamikdash, in theory, could have been forever. So what, that could have been forever. So why do we say only the third Beis Hamikdash is eternal? The answer is after the whole Maimon that the Nitzchis, the eternity of the Bais Rishon, would have been because primarily, as explained, the Gili of Yud and K, the Gili that is higher than Zman. But the Chiddush of the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi is that even Zman itself is the Gili, the Yichra Vayin of the Gili. In the deepest way, it's as explained in the Maimon. Because true Nitzchis, true eternity is not only because of, in other words, eternity is experienced. It is not, true eternity is not because the recipient is privy to something eternal that he's not. But the eternity is part of, is reflected within him, expressed by him. That the recipient is eternal. And that's stuff, as we explained, Achan Yeshavai, the Mokhem. And he went on to say, this is the conclusion of the Maimon, basically, that this Yichud that was the Beis Hamikdash, so this is the template or the Keli for the Gilui that would be in the whole world. And that's Geula. Geula, as we separate Beis Hamikdash and Geula, Beis Hamikdash is built before the Geula is complete. There's still the gathering, Kibbutz Goliath, and there's Tchias HaMesim. Because the Tachlis is not Beis Hamikdash itself only, but the whole world. However, the whole world becomes a reflection of the Beis Hamikdash. And that's also why the final Geula is a Geula after which there is no Golas. For the same reason we said moments ago about the mile of the third Beis Hamikdash over the first and second. Certainly second, but even the first. Shouldn't say that because the mile of the second has a little bit the mile of Tshuva, but it was lacking. The beginnings of the mile of the period of the Tachton, but it was sorely lacking. Ended up in deep corruption. So, same answer we said before, why the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi is Nitzchi, because it's the Mokem Zman. That's also why this Geula will be Nitzchi. The other previous Geulas were imposed to one degree or another on the world. But here, it pulsates through the world. And that is the pasuk that he brings here from Yiheye that was not in the previous Maimon. It's the pasuk that precedes, called Nikra B'Shmi U'Lechvedi. The Eibishter says, for all the, he explains, it's all 6 directions. And that all the 6 directions themselves are participating in Eden coming back home. That's the chiddush that they are participating. As the pasuk says, Havi'i, bring me my children back. And in the order 71, from the Tzedas David, who saved the day, the Chayre doesn't say that by all of the directions. But Tzedas David says that that's really Akdoma and a commandment to all of the Ruchos. As he says in the end of order 71. All of the directions. Now, also, the Rebbe is, revealing here, it's not obvious that the pasuk speaks about the 4 directions. But he says it's really 6 because he mentions also, where is it? Rochek, I could say, bring my children from far and from the edge. It's over and above the 4 directions already identified. So that's Mila and Mata. So this is the 6 directions of time and space that are participating themselves in the Geula. That's why it's nitzchis. That's the mokem hazeh, the beginning of the Beis Hamikdash, that then embraces all of creation. That's a wrap. The Yiheye, finishing now, last page. Interestingly enough, he says that the Gilui in the world is only going to be similar to a reflection of the Gilui in the Beis Hamikdash itself, where the primary revelation will still take place. Nonetheless, there's the Maila, the advantage, where this revelation is experienced in all of creation. Why? It's not clear, but maybe you could. Since, as Yaakov said, it's not an ordinary place. But why is it not an ordinary place? Because of the Godol. So why would that not be true of everywhere else as well? I don't know. Yaakov said that before there's built the Beis Hamikdash, unless he means because of the Beis Hamikdash, it's a holy edifice. But that's not what he's saying. He said, let's say, Kivin Shaya, bias, and had a Kodesh HaKadoshim, it had it was a holy place, holy building, so not nikah so much. He's not saying that. He's saying, Kivin Shaya, less than Asad Egypt. So, ein nikah, was there kol kach. Therefore, there it's not seen so much. It's also mitzad the matter, because it's what? It's a holy place. What makes it a holy place is this Yichud Havai Elikim, which was the whole beer. Why it's different than any other place of creation, notwithstanding it's created by the Sodom and Mothers. So I'm not sure that that's what he's saying. He's saying that the expression of the Yichud Havai Elikim is not as acknowledged. The chiddush of it is not so apparent because that place is a holy place. Where, however, the mile of this revelation, it's mamish mitzad creation. Shem Elikim, it's at the tzimtzum itself. It's when that revelation is revealed in the world and see, look, Asad Hedjet. Beis Hamikdash is not an Asad Hedjet, but why? It's a simple question, going to be a simple answer. Missing something. Can add things if the Maimon doesn't say, because Beis Hamikdash was already pre-designated. It's already predetermined and had a special designation, setting it apart from the rest of the world. It's all very nice, but the Maimon is not saying it. So I don't know. At any rate, the point that he's saying is, whatever the reason, the Beis Hamikdash is a special place. It's not an Asad Hedjet. So the chiddush of Yichud Havai Elikim is not so apparent. When is the true chiddush? When it mamish, it embraces Shem Elikim at its extreme, the tzimtzum, the rest of creation. Concluding, that's the mile of the Geula which follows being a Beis Hamikdash. The Geula, the ingathering, and that's already global. First thing he does is, no, 1 second. No, the Seder is, yeah. Makarav Yidden then causes the global tshuva, but then Kibbutz Golis and the Tchias HaMesim follows afterwards. So that's Geula. So that's the Maila of Geula. Why the Alter Rebbe speaks of Geula. The Gemara was one of the questions at the beginning. The Gemara speaks of the three, but the Mikdash, the Alter Rebbe speaks of the three Geulas, because Alter Rebbe wants to bring out The whole tachlis is the geula, the gila of Havayim Likim, all of existence, which flows from the Beis Hamikdash. So that's the Ma'ila. Therefore, the gula comes later because it's greater still. Why we have the answer? Seeing godliness in Tzimtzum is not so much in the Beis Hamikdash, but where the rest of the world. That is therefore it's seen there, and in the geula which follows by Beis Hamikdash. Hence, the Alter Rebbe speaks about the geula. And elaborating now in conclusion, Oishut Aleph, the Iker HaGilui, the Yichud Havai Elikim, the main Gilui of Havai Elikim, Sheyichud Yigam B'tzat Elikim. Where will there be at the final stage of the geula? Here, not only the B'tchias HaMeisem, the Nitzchis of the Guf, that's the tachlis, the ultimate expression. Shalach kibbutz golos. Kibbutz golos is takas meridik because, as explained, they're not just coming from the 6 directions. What does it mean coming from 6 directions? Come from 4 directions. They're business system in 6 directions. That's the rochek and the ktsei. Whatever that means, even the tzaddik, I'm just offering it. The tzaddik is the ma'ila, and the one that comes from the depth, about tshuva. Everybody, ma'ila and mata, in addition to the 4 directions, which are the midas in general, chesed, gevura, and so on. But Tchias HaMeisem is even greater, notwithstanding Kibbutz Golis and its whole ma'ila, which explains that the 6 directions participate and are part of the words the Mayim is Saimim, they help. Give me my children, says the Eibishter. What the ultimate is, Tchias HaMeisem Achim Shebekula. The final event. Because even the revelation, the world from the ingathering, killing Mugbal, that's still relatively finite. The Erech HaGilim Shila Sabam. By Tchias HaMeisem, that's the 3rd kufa, Mamash. Ukenal Shoyim Rak Me'ena Gili the Beis Hamikdash. So the rest of the world is only going to be like the Beis Hamikdash. Let's elaborate. In Pashtus, the Mokim Baran the Einim and Amid is still only going to be in the Beis Hamikdash. That's maybe the answer to our question. But it doesn't spell it out for us. It's not going to be Mokim Baran the Einim and Amid and the rest of creation. Me'en, we'll see in the Tzimtzum, Eibishter, revealed, but it's only me'en because this mamish transparent expression of hide in space will still only be in the Beis Hamikdash. So therefore me'en will be in the rest of creation. But Tchias HaMeisem, however, the tachlis, that's even higher. Tchias HaMeisem, that's the ultimate in Geula, which all begins in Beis Hamikdash. She'oz Yiheye Yisaguf Ma'aseiver. Then we learned the whole Maamar in this week. Previously, the whole Maamar in this week. Can you remember that? I don't remember the better maschil. It's there. 5 more in the back. Then the guf will get its chayes from Seibim in brackets. Naili Yosem Chayes the neshama hayat, and the neshama that gets its chayes from the highest darkness of Mamalakalam. Shalachein and the Shomatin is Naguf, and that's why the neshama will be nourished from the guf. The whole beer that we had there. So then will be Yishtei Amaylas. Then by Tchias HaMeisem, that's the tachlis. Gilui HaBlig Vol Seiver. And that's will be the chayes of the guf. all the Arichas Abir we had then, the Sefer creates everything Yeshmai, the Chiddush of the Guf. At any rate, the Gil is a year about Guf, and this will be revealed in the Guf, Sheshorshai is Mishem Alikim. Yet his Chayis, his Shayis is Hashem Alikim, is a Mugbaldik creation. His source is like everything else, Hashem Alikim. But his Chayis will be directly from where? From Sefer. So that's the Yichud of Havayim Amal. Betachlas, in the Guf, clear? Geographically. The Shayis of the Guf is Hashem Alikim. His Chayis will be what animates him. Sefer Kalalmin. And that's going to be in the Guf Gashmi. So that's the Tachlis. Why doesn't he also add that the Guf will be Nitzchi? That's an ultimate expression of the Nitzchias and the Yichud Vavai Elikim, that the Guf Gashmi is Nitzchias. Why doesn't he say that? I will surely add to it. Don't know. That's the matter of Beis HaMikdash, right? Shlishi, Dafke. It's at the Mokem. I say that that's, it's a big Chiddush in a Guf and in stone. Maybe not. Call upon him. You should base. Zer Godol Yekved Abayis Azachim in addition. That's the Divrei Maskil of Amaymeh. This is greater, will be the covet of this house than the first. So why is he focusing only on the covet of Bayis as when we just finished saying that Blessed Loved is going to be the Gula, is going to go beyond the whole world, and even Tchias HaMeisim, the final achievement, the final Maila, true Yichud of Sefer Mamali in the Guf. Why speak about the covet of Bayis Hazeh? And nonetheless, because the main emphasis is the Bayis. Al-Tebe explains. The pasuk talks about the house because Shayrish kol enyonim yive beis hamikdash. The Shayrish of Mokim not ein min hamidah, therefore, and the Gilui of Ma'ila of Mokim in Mokim will be in the beis hamikdash. The men are yimshuch b'olam, and from there to the whole world. He concludes with time that's also of the reasons the first thing he's going to do after he's already assumed to Mashiach, because why is Mekadav all the Yidden that mends the breaches and observance and creates a whole renaissance of tshuva? What's the first thing he does as Mashiach? Vadai, says the Rambam, will bring a Beis Hamikdash. Because that's his certain identity as Mashiach begins with the building of the Beis Hamikdash, because that's the Shoresh, that's where the Gili Vavai Elikim, and from there it embraces the world. The main thing is it shall be very soon. Now the question is, what do you need a Beis Hamikdash? And there's Tchias HaMeisim, and there's a Gil Rabbi, and the Likim, or in all of creation, even in the Guf Gashmi, still insisting that it all emanates from the Beis Hamikdash. The Cha'ura, but offering a suggestion, because the Dira at the end of the day is a small, intimate place. So the whole world's going to be this small, intimate place that we share with Hashem, but it's still the model, the enduring model, the place where it comes from is a home, physically a home that's intimate walls and creates a private space. That idea of intimacy and privacy remains, and that's the enduring, that's the whole experience of the Beis Hamikdash, your home. That model must remain, because that's the Nekudah. Even though Proz is Teishek Yerushalayim will be without walled cities. And so in that sense, the barriers all come down everywhere. The Kus revealed everywhere, but what's not lost is the private little space we share with Hashem. Perhaps that's the reason. Okay.